2 years ago, I would go to a regular shop and buy something that I knew I wouldn't even wear more than once. But today, I'm not that person anymore. And here's why. 2,500 liters of water, 10 kilograms of fertilizer, half a kilogram of pesticides and insecticides, and half a kilogram of fuel. Or in other words, one cotton shirt. Every year, 1 to 2 billion t-shirts are made and sold, which is making them one of the most sold item of clothing, which means that 250 billion liters of water are used just for the production of t-shirts alone. The making of one cotton t-shirt is a very long and demanding process. It is not only demanding on the sources, but also on the people that stand behind it. So let's go look at it. We start with cotton. Cotton is also called a thirsty plant. It is because it needs a huge amount of water to be able to grow. Plantations are sprayed with pesticides and insecticides as a protection against pests. These chemicals also result in the devastation of the entire ecosystem. It is because they are sprayed with agricultural aircrafts on the plantations, which means that it does not affect only the plantations and the ecosystem, but the workers as well. Based on the study of Dr. Pritpal Singh, who dealt with the impact of these chemicals on human health, the pesticides used on cotton are often carcinogenic, thus endangering the health of plantation workers. It is this study that points to a dramatic increase of birth defects, cancers, and mental illnesses in cotton-producing countries, such as Punjab region of India. 70 to 80 children in each village in this region suffer from some kind of physical or mental handicap. However, pesticide-producing companies are refusing any responsibility for any health consequences stemming from their products, even though their toxicity has been scientifically proven. Due to high price of cotton and pesticides, which they use more than before, farms and farmers are going into debt they can't pay off, which leads to that their land and plantations are usually seized. Due to these debts, farmers committed suicide, and there were 250,000 suicides in the last 16 years with using pesticides, which means that a farmer take a bottle of pesticide, drink it, and then it poisons the body. It is one of the biggest waves of farmer suicides in the history. The average factory in India is capable of producing 20,000 meters of fabric per day. In December 2018, China produced 4.76 trillion meters of fabric. So if you imagine this happening every month, you can imagine the number. In total, more than 2,000 different chemicals are used in the dyeing process of the fabrics. They are later either vaporized from the fabric or absorbed or inhaled by you when you are wearing them. The remnants of these dyes are discharged into the rivers at the factories, and so again negatively impact the entire ecosystem and the people living in it. The textile industry has been identified as one of the industries that contributes the most to the pollution of drinking water sources in the world. It is in these factories that people mostly work in inhuman conditions for very, very low wages. According to international trade research, the average tailor in China is 238 euros, which is not that bad maybe, but it is just a 20% of China's subsistence minimum. But however, these figures are just the average. According to research of the US National Labor Committee, some tailors in China factories earn only 12 to 18 cents per hour, which means that if they're working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, they earn about 40 euros a month. Many times they are forced to work in dangerous conditions that often results in various occupational injuries or fires. But the biggest tragedy in the fashion industry was the fall of the Rana Plaza in Bangladesh. You may have caught it on the news, you may have not. But There exactly 1,134 people died there, and 2,500, more than 2,500 people were injured. The staff warned the management about several structural defects, such as cracks in the walls, but the management ignored these warnings. 2018 report issued by the Walk Free Foundation also mentions that 112 trillion euros worth of clothing, likely manufactured under modern slavery conditions, is imported into G12 or G20 every year. G20 is a group of countries that comprise up to 80% of the global market. And we, as European Union, we are part of this. So this is our problem too. According to Greenpeace, global textile production doubled between 2000 and 2014. On average, one person buys 60% more clothes, using them for half the period compared to 15 years ago. The lifetime of one t-shirt is 3 years on average. So the real question is, for how long have you had your shirt that you're wearing on right now? In Slovakia, which is my home country, and there are just 5 million people there, the population throws out an average of 450 kilograms of clothing every 10 minutes. So just imagine this on a scale of the whole world. So this t-shirt that demands plenty of sources, soak up a huge amount of chemicals, travels half the world, is then thrown away, and it's laying somewhere in a landfill, or it's burned, releasing some emissions, or it's floating somewhere in the ocean. And now, 2 years ago, I would go buy that shirt. This is the landfills with the clothing in it. Now, 2 years ago, I would go to a regular shop, as I said. I would go and buy something that I didn't even need. But then I started reading about all of this, and I realized that when I throw something out, it is not the end of it. And I realized that by making a consumer choice and buying a simple t-shirt, I can hurt someone on the other side of the planet without me even knowing it. And I realized that my impact on the world was pretty huge, once again, without me even knowing it. And just like that, it all started making sense. I started making changes in my life. I stopped buying in the regular shops. I started shopping in secondhands. I started shopping in local designers or sustainable brands. And I started remaking my clothes so I can enjoy them longer. Because when you realize that by buying just one shirt, you can save 2,500 liters of water, that's a pretty huge change you can make by making one small decision. So, but I did not feel like that's enough. So I joined a movement, a fashion revolution movement, which is a movement for sustainable fashion. And it gave me so many opportunities, like, for example, standing here today and talking to you about this complex issue that is worth talking about. And why am I telling you this? Is because you're in high school too, as well as I am. And I found out what I want to do with my life because I just started to care about things that I started realizing that by making my choices, I can affect so many things by making little decisions. So the question is, what do you care about? And if you care about something, just do more for it. And maybe, you don't know, it will show you the journey that you want to go to. So the question is, what do you care about? Because think about things you're doing. Think about things you're buying. Because now, everything has a story and people behind it. So think about what story you want your things to tell. Because what people buy, store, sell. So you have the power of the market. Use it wisely.